All right, so this one's on the Riot MMO. It says it's already done.
In the past, MMOs were regarded as the godfathers of games. They were the peak of what developers could accomplish. Even though, looking back, that's a fairly subjective thing to say. Everyone knew MMOs had the power to create cult following, but also everyone knew making MMOs was hard. On average, an MMO has to spend at least 6 years in the baking before it can get anywhere near being good. But that didn't stop companies from jumping onto the bandwagon anyway. And soon we could see dozens of new MMOs, all releasing in 2008. All being called the WoW killers. Spoiler alert, none of them did that. And unfortunately, we can feel the ripple effects even now. It got to a point where every time a new MMO is announced, we all think the same thing. Oh. Anyway, when you're working on an MMO, you have to respect 3 pillars. Gameplay is king, social interactions matter, and the world setting is important. When Riot announced their MMO, it became clear that 2 of the pillars are being respected, and the third one is already done. When it comes to the gameplay, it is currently in the hands of Ghostcrawler, someone who's been working on WoW during its best times, and someone who got a reputation for hating boomkins and loving mages. When it comes to the social interactions, it is a dance between the developers and the players. A dev can guide players towards social interactions, or they can annihilate them. And after that, the players usually find their own fun inside the MMO.
That's usually how it works. I'm waiting for him to get to the Riot part.
The devs should do everything in their power to support the players having...
This is true. All we want is a really, adventure. We want an adventure experience that we can play with a lot of people and has attractive characters. That's what we want.
Fun in their own way. And finally, when it comes to the world of an MMO...
Amazing lore, great storyline, good combat, excellent graphics, replayability. I don't feel like we're asking for too much here.
Riot's case, it's done, and it's been finished for quite a few years now. In fact, the world of Riot's MMO is in such a good state. They already have the continents, the zones, the cultures, and the races. And to a lesser degree, every zone already has its own storyline. Now, of course, unless you follow the lore of League of Legends, you wouldn't know about this. And that's why I decided to make this video. I want to show you all the zones we are going to see in the MMO and what sorts of quests we are going to do there. So, for the purpose of this video, I will assume you have no idea what League of Legends is about. You have no idea what the universe is about, but you like MMOs, your hairline is receding, and you have a...
Hey! It can't recede any further! What the hell, bro?
A crippling fear of Nintendo 64 controllers. To which I might add, why do you think I'm wearing hats? But now...
This was a personal attack on me.
Now, without further ado, let's have a look at all the zones in Riot's MMO.
What the...
This is Runeterra, the world of League of Legends. Right now, the world is separated into 10 main regions. But these 10 regions don't cover all the land on the map, so there are some mini-zones in between them. And the lore already revealed that there is gonna be another continent further to the east. That definitely sounds like a future expansion to me. In fact, it would be foolish to release all of these regions at launch. You can easily turn half of these into separate expansions. And because a lot of people already know and love these regions, the hype behind these expansions would be big. With that said, I know a lot of you would like to play as Shrimans or Ionians. And now you may...
Okay, where are we all, realistically speaking, we're all either starting in Noxus or we're starting in Freljord. Okay? Look, honestly, Ionian might take a few W's. We take those. Shurima can fuck off. Demacia can fuck off. Piltover and Zahn might have a few arcane enjoyers, but that's it. Yeah.
Be cursing me for suggesting that
like Demacia seems great and everything, and then you realize that they have slavery, and you're like, never mind, okay.
These would be expansions. But the lore can justify giving you these nations as playable races without having their regions. I'll show you how Riot can pull this off in a bit. First, let's talk about the regions Riot's MMO has to start with. The Northern Continent. This entire continent is called Valoran. Not Valorant. Valorant.
It's different. Similar, but different.
And this is where the absolute core of this world is. The two main regions here are Demacia and Noxus. They are the two big rivals equivalent to the Horde and the Alliance. While I would like to say that Demacia is your classic normie human region, it's not really true. Runeterra doesn't really have a normal place. There is something cool happening in every region. And Demacia has racism. Okay, maybe
Evidently not a deterrent for some of the people in chat.
maybe not racism, because Demacia doesn't mind Yordles or Minotaurs, but they really hate mages. That's because in the past, their rivals almost annihilated half of the world using magic. And so, Demacia was built inside a magic-absorbing forest. Therefore, Demacia is a really cool place where you can hide from magic. When it
Honestly, there might be a significant amount of the BDO community that starts in Demacia. But it's because they hate wizards and witches.
comes to the visuals of the zone, you can see a lot of lush fields, it is surrounded by mountains, but the iconic part of Demacia are the buildings. They are made of petricite, which is a combination of stone and the magic-absorbing wood. Because these
The lore in these in like the Riot lore in general has like the best lore of like any game. That's why we're all super excited for the MMOs, because the lore is just so in depth and it all works and it's like really nice. Like it's just so cool. Like you thought that Noxus was just gonna be the bad guys, and then they showed you that cinematic where it was like the kid that was getting abused got like to stand up to the king and stuff. And it's like because power rules all. I was like, okay, yeah, all right, they're pretty cool. The actual Giga Chads. You want morally ambiguous lore, right? Like there's good, but then there's also bad. Demacia looks like this amazing. They're racist. Then what is it? Noxus. Noxus. Oh man, we just hate power. Red, fire, burning, death. Power above all. We give people the opportunity to succeed. No racism. W. Right? It's a moral gray area. We love that in lore. We love that.
Ancient magic-absorbing trees were grey. All the buildings have a marble-like appearance. And yes, given what material they are using, all the buildings in Demacia also absorb magic. So should a mage visit this region, let's just say it's gonna be a painful experience. On top of this, let's not forget that Demacians can weaponize petricite. They can turn it into petricite steel, which gives you your classic anti-magic weapons, and you can sculpt petricite constructs which wake up after absorbing magic. Simply said, these guys just really don't like magic. The irony is, they've been absorbing it for years now. And this is where the story would kick in. You see, the Demacians are so afraid of magic, they founded the Mage Seeker Order. This is an order of people who hunt mages, they throw them in the prison, and they torture them until their body gives up on magic. So yes, being a mage is a crime in Demacia. The thing is, people still get naturally born with magical abilities. You can't stop it from happening. So not only are there mages hiding in the royal court, right now there is a mage civil war happening in Demacia.
We love it. Morally ambiguous, that's
where
right.
Mages and people who don't hate mages rise up to fight for moral rights. So should we do some quests in this zone? This is gonna be the core story. Mages trying to overthrow racist leadership following old laws. So the main enemy NPCs might be mages and witches. But I know what you're thinking now, and don't worry. There will be plenty of boars to kill here too. Or at least...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Vert, like I said, there's going to be a significant amount of the BDO community that starts in Demacia, and that is because, again, we hate wizards and witches.
There are loads of wolves.
I'll probably start in... It's probably a Noxus angle, right?
Wolves here, as well as stags. And we can't forget the iconic Demacian raptors. But further to the south, we might find some crag beasts, tiny woolly elephants, and yes, of course in the Argent Mountains there are also dragons. Loads.
Dude, I think that there's just an impossible amount of hype around this game. There is just no way, man. The lore is just too good. It will kill every other MMO if it lives up to the hype. And if it doesn't live up to the hype, it'll be a complete disaster, and we'll all be playing BDO for the rest of our entire lives. Riot MMO in 5 years. I actually think it's a lot closer than that.
And loads of dragons. But that's about it for Demacia. Fun fact, the capital city of Demacia is called the Great City of Demacia. Sounds dumb, but Runeterra was not the first one to come up with this. But thankfully the other regions are a bit more creative with their names. So now, let's move away from the normie region and let's have a look at the
normie
region. Noxus. If you're planning on playing a warrior with
We've all seen the cinematic, right?
oversized weapons and overcompensating lush hair, this is the region for you. This place actually...
Fuck these people.
Noxus. If you're planning on playing a warrior with oversized weapons and overcompensating lush hair...
I hate these people. This is the Riot, like they're teasing the Riot MMO essentially.
This is the region for you. This place actually has a long and badass history, but we really don't have the time to explain it now. So just know that originally it was built by the most badass warrior in the history of Runeterra. This motherfucker literally died on a mountain of corpses. And after he died, he was too angry to stay dead, so he just became the god of the underworld.
Okay, yeah, he's pretty bad. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize that was Mordekaiser's lore. That's pretty, yeah, that's pretty alpha. That's pretty alpha, bro. That's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty crazy.
This guy lived. He built the Immortal Bastion, which is to this day the largest structure on the entirety of Runeterra. And currently he is banished underneath the Immortal Bastion, but only a few people know about it. So, you know, that's a future raid boss.
Okay, yes, dude. Abso, bro. I would... Woo! Man, wouldn't that be just juice, bro? Are you ready for the right MMO? Cash shop or just the chromas? Why do you have to suck the fun out of everything that you say? That's right. We're trying to have fun here. Just get out of here, okay? It's gonna be a fun game, okay?
Anyway, the Immortal Bastion is the capital city of the Noxian Empire, with Noxus being one of the most brutal nations in Runeterra. It is brutal because the nation is surrounded by rocky earth. It is hard to grow plants here. So Noxians are forced into conquering surrounding land for resources to survive. That's why when you go to the map, you can notice that the Noxian territory is...
Solution. Settle in better areas, idiots. Who in the fuck rolled up on the middle of the mountains and was like, this looks good, boys. Let's set up camp here. Like, bro, you gotta be near a body of water and shit. Like... The Welsh. Well, they weren't intelligent people, bro. I don't... Dwarves? Okay, yeah, oh, sure, in the fantasy. But I'm being, like, realistically speaking.
Is all over the place. It's because these are all the places Noxus has already conquered.
More, they just said, and he died.
I say it like that, you may imagine Noxus brutally raiding everything. But that's not true. They like to absorb the surrounding nations into their empire. After all, it's just more human resources. Most of the time, they only remove the royalty and they let the leaderless people join their empire. And that's because Noxus values strength above all. And rulers tend to not be good fighters. This is what you can see in the After Victory cinematic. They killed the king because he was weak and let
this cinematic right here.
Everyone else join them. Fun fact, conquering nations is so iconic for Noxus, they have their own saying. Kill them until they are family.
Jesus, it's just like GVGs and BDO, bro. It's literally Cho Nation's motto, man.
So when it comes to the quests in Noxus, it is most likely going to be helping the Empire expand its territory. Although, this region has its own unique enemies too.
Hashtag PvP, boys. Ooh. Ooh, seductress.
Inside the Immortal Bastion, there is a cult known as the Black Rose. This cult is connected to the darkest of
For the rose.
magics. So be ready to fight hemomancers, witches...
I don't know, the witches are seeming kind of thick here based on these pictures.
demons, and the Grey Legion, which is an army of soldiers revived with blood magic to fight for the Empire again. And when it comes to collecting 10 bear asses, here we have the native drakehounds and basilisks. Now, while Noxus and Demacia are the main rivals here.
What the fuck is this lore? This is the lore from League of Legends. I'm not joking. It's this fleshed out. I love the Evelyn lore. Every single champion has its like own backstory, and lore is just super good. Super good. And because they've kind of made it all line up, they're kind of ready. Like the MMO, like the world building and like the fantasy, like quests and stuff, like it's already kind of built.
Both of them are also
10 bare asses. Glad I'm not the only one that heard it.
constantly repelling raids from the north. So now,
Oh, Freljord's huge, bro. Holy moly.
let's have a look at the Freljord. Just like pretty much any region on Runeterra, Freljord has a long history. But for the purpose
I love the ice and snow thematic. Just gets me, boys.
of this video, just know that the maddening old gods known as the Watchers of the Void, who want to devour the entire reality only because it
Also, their lore is badass, sure, but their music is by far the best.
keeps waking them up, once tried to breach into reality here. They almost succeeded because they tricked the Ice Witch Lysandra into helping them. Fortunately, she realized how wrong she was, and she managed to freeze half of the kingdom with the Watchers still beneath them. So these days, the Ice Witch is the only person holding back the end of reality by keeping the Watchers frozen. So
Wait, really? Holy shit. Yo, that's pretty fucking okay. Okay. Yo, react to the new World song? I haven't heard it yet. Lysandra is Biss. Oh my god, Ice Mommy indeed. Holy moly.
at some point,
That, by the way, is how you make an empowered, badass female character. Okay? Get the political correctness shit the fuck out of here. That's how you make the fucking female characters look like badasses, bro. That and Sejuani, yeah.
in the future, you bet one of these woken up frozen Watchers is gonna be a raid boss. Now, when it comes to the NPCs, this is where things get diverse. First of all, remember that the Freljord is brutally cruel. Everything is frozen.
Yet Braum just keeps smiling. We don't know why, bro. Everyone's dying.
And survival is everything. So the first enemy here would be the wildlife. From Rhymefangs to Yetis to Druvasks to Elnuks to Mammoths to the worst of them all, Boros. Next we are going to...
Did I not? Exactly what I'm saying. Everything else is like dying.
Here would be the wildlife. From
Fucking evil death.
Rhymefangs to Yetis
Evil death.
to Druvasks
Evil death.
to Elnuks to Mammoths
Slightly less evil death, but still evil death. You know what I mean?
to the worst of them all, Boros.
The only thing that Braum is known for. Like,
Next we are going to fight the Freljordians themselves. There
oh, that's the call. That's the call video. I've seen these cinematics so many times.
are three main tribes here.
Yeah, that's Olaf. Yeah.
The Avarosan,
Oh yeah, there's my
who
girl
are quite
Ash, bro.
peaceful, the Winter's Claw,
Sedge.
who are quite
I love Sejuani.
brutal,
Yep.
and the Frostguard,
Mhm.
Lysandra's followers who hold back the Watchers. And let me tell you, these guys have some badass armor. Among the notable tribes, there are also the Ursine, which are shamans who
Volibear?
worship the Volibear, the
Yes?
primal god of the wild who slowly turns his worshippers into twisted animalistic monstrosities.
What the fuck? I had no idea. Is that where Udyr is? Is that what it like? Is that why Udyr is such a freak?
Speaking of which, yes, there are also the primal gods of Freljord. And
And they did great with the Volibear rework because it actually makes you feel like a god when you ult.
finally, we need to talk about the Iceborn. When the Watchers tried to arrive here, they tainted the ice around them. This special ice is called the True Ice. And it is so dangerous, you literally die if you touch it. However, the Watchers also tainted some people, giving them the ability to touch the ice. It is still extremely painful for them to hold a true ice weapon, but at least they can survive it.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Wait, Udyr is Sejuani's dad? That can't be true. Is that true? Empressy? Hey girl.
These people are known as the Iceborn. But people were not the only things that were tainted. there are also ice trolls, some of whom
That's my boy Trundle.
are also iceborne. To be honest, these guys were made to have their own dungeon. But there are also some animals that were twisted by the Watchers.
Okay, that's pretty bad. Bro, again, the art here is actually just so crazy. Have you seen a Fiddlesticks cinematic? No, unless you're talking about like the Twisted Fate one from like a long time ago.
And Lysandra is even twisting some beings herself.
The release date is years away. I would guess that the Riot MMO is probably within 2 years at this point.
To make them serve her. So overall, Freljord is gonna have a lot of cool warriors, shamans, and horrors. So these would be the 3 regions on the main continent. But this place is actually so big it can easily make the base world of the game.
True. We could rename it to Balanos, Serendia, and Calpheon, and we could get this going. Yeah, that's usually what you start with, is 3 regions, and then you gotta go with expansions from there.
Especially since there are a bunch of smaller regions in between them. There is Nockmerge, full of witches, Argent Mountains with their dragons, Tokugal with void monsters, Dalamore Plains with him, and
Alright, we love Kled. You get out of here with that one.
so much more. But from here, you can cleverly set up the expansions because of how well everything is interconnected.
True.
So now, let's have a look at the continent to the east called...
I'm just gonna say it now. The best League of Legends cinematic of all time was Awaken. There is nothing even remotely close to that one. That one's the best.
Ionia. Ionia has a very close connection to Noxus. You can only guess why. It's because Noxians once tried to conquer it all during an event simply called the Invasion of Ionia. This was a horrible war full of using children as soldiers because Noxians thought Ionians wouldn't fight back against children.
Oh my god, bro. Morally ambiguous storylines, okay? It's sketchy, you know what I mean? Oh, it's just a little girl. Have you seen my bear Tibbers? Like, oh Jesus. Like, put the gun down.
And chemical weapons. Lots and lots of chemical weapons. Speaking of which, remember Singed from Arcane?
We love him.
He's the guy who chemically devastated Ionia. Eventually, Noxus failed, but they kept their small controlled territories.
Awaken for the win, yep. Knocked him right back out. Thank you.
So the first quest here could be simply boarding a ship, sailing over, and exploring the place for the Noxian Empire. Now, when it comes to Ionia itself, the place gets mystical.
In fairness, there are dragons in this game, which makes its lore objectively better than BDO's.
Everything here is alive and connected to the spirit of
Don't tell me that Garmoth counts as a dragon. I can't write it. Doesn't count.
nature. And I mean everything, from the animals to the people to the buildings. Everything is alive. So if you anger Mother Nature, your house can twist and strangle you in your sleep. So you can
Maneuver, again, same thing. Can't write it. Doesn't count. Bald woman, I'm in.
only imagine how Mother Nature fought against
Hey, again, another badass female character.
Noxians. Usually a river came alive to drown them. That's why all the buildings here look like they were woven from wood. It's because they were. With nature magic, people let nature build their houses. It also means that sometimes your house can just walk away. When it comes to the NPCs here, obviously there is gonna be a lot of nature spirits. And a lot more of simply mystical animals. From giant flying tigers to...
Okay, yeah, you can't excite me like this. The only mount I've been allowed to ride for the last 6 years was a horse. So if you show me a picture of this and insinuate that I can ride it, I've already left and I've thrown my money at the monitor.
to the never-ending story. But be
That's Aurelian Soul. You can't ride Aurelian Soul. Aurelian Soul rides you.
ready to also face local Ionians, Blade Masters, Shadow Cultists, Murderers, and Ninjas. Both good, bad,
It wasn't a soul? You're shitting me. This is not Aurelian
nature
Soul?
built their... When it comes to the end of ending story,
That is definitely Aurelian Soul. Right? It's a celestial god. I know. It is a soul. Not him. It is him. It is not him. It is him. All right, fuck it. Agree to disagree.
Occultists, murderers, and ninjas.
He's a space dragon. I know, but it doesn't mean he can't just exist in a picture like that. It's fan art.
Both good, bad, and the in-between. But finally, there is also one more enemy that we could face. The furries. That's right, this...
If thinking Ari is hot makes you a furry, I think we're all just fucked. I think that's just it, boys.
This race is known as the Vastaya. They are half humans and half magical animals. And yeah...
See? Like, you can't tell me, oh, it's half human because it has ears of the... Like, get out of here, right? Don't...
As canonically, the species was born in exactly the way you are thinking. But to be fair, the Vastaya are quite cool.
Is that Soraka? No, it's not Soraka. She got daggers.
And they are definitely gonna be a playable race. Just like Yordles, who also like Ionia a lot. Lastly, after Noxians ravaged Mother Nature, demons started occupying all the places filled with misery and doubt. So that's gonna be a nice bonus enemy. So yes, the exploration of Ionia and the raid on the Shadow Order could be a really cool first expansion. But it's definitely not Riot's only option, because we can also...
Yeah, Bandle City would be really cool. I don't know where Arcane's going to be set next. I'm actually curious where, like... Because, like, obviously he's going to talk about Piltover and Zon.
Go south to Piltover and Zon.
Right, like, so, like, we talked about Piltover and Zon in, like, the... If you've seen Arcane, you know all about these two cities. It's just... Or, I mean, the... Yeah... Two cities, right? Because they're built on top of each other. Like, it's amazing and everything, but, like, I'm wondering where they're going to go next.
These are the ones people will know about, simply because this is where Arcane took place. Piltover and Zon are two massive cities located one above the other.
Where the rich people live on top of everything, and then the poor people live down on the bottom. It's just like real life.
And they are so massive they could easily be turned into their own playable zones. They are both focusing on futuristic technology powered up by magic of the Hextech gemstones. Using this magic, they can power up anything from guns to augmented limbs to vehicles. Visually, it is simply futuristic Victorian era.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
really cool.
there wouldn't be much of enemy variety. We would likely...
What do you mean? We could... There's all kinds of enemy variety you could have here. Some mad scientist making some crazy invention powered with Hextech gemstones. I'm just throwing out it.
They fight the rich houses of Piltover and their deadly assassins, with the occasional thief on the streets, corrupt wardens, and the occasional...
Yeah, we got Victor Singed is from here.
rogue steam golem. But things get a bit more interesting in the undercity known as Zon.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, yeah, they'd all be from Zon. Yeah, that's where all the poverty is for us. Yeah.
Zon is the dirty underbelly covered in thick toxic smoke. Because the majority of people are poor here, they developed a cheaper alternative to Hextech called Chemtech. This artificial green stuff can power up cheaper limb replacements, as well as highly unstable weaponry. Zon is also controlled by the
Holy shit.
Barons, which are obviously gonna be the main enemy here.
Bro, the art in this game is just a step above, like, anything else we have ever seen. Like, oh my god, dude.
But on the side,
so
we may
good.
also meet some chemical mutants.
I mean, look at that. It's just Mundo. He's just he's like Barney, man. Like,
Unstable constructs, as well as some
that guy's, this is amazing art. It's not just because he's bald.
mass murderers and people who hunt down mass murderers.
Also bald.
And funnily enough, at the very bottom of Zon itself, there are the hidden ruins of an ancient city full of traps. That is obviously gonna be a cool dungeon.
Okay, yeah, that's a W. That's a huge W. Why are we... What's going on with... Vi's making me feel away right now. It's not right. No, Vi's with Caitlyn.
So yes, there is not much more that I can add here.
That's gonna be an amazing raid.
Simply explored in Arcane. So if you like the
I
series...
thought he said tramps. And then they showed a picture of Vi, too. Vi is not a tramp. Respectfully,
you are
look.
Gonna like this place. From here, we can travel further south to Shurima. Shurima used to
Warwick's
be
a good one, yeah.
massive empire that...
Oh, this is basically the Hashashin release. Nobody's gonna give a shit about this.
ruled the world. But after the Emperor got betrayed by his best friend, the
I mean, it's got good lore and stuff. You've got Nasus, you've got Emperor why am I forgetting my boy's name? The Emperor of Shurima, Azir. Yeah, Azir. My boy Azir. I thought there was an H in his name, but my bad. My boy Azir, you got Nasus, you got like God dude, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. You got Renekton, who is Nasus's brother.
Empire collapsed.
Giant ass crocodile looking.
This region is a massive desert with the occasional city near a river. In the center of the region,
Aatrox, isn't Aatrox Noxus?
Sun Disk, a colossal piece of star metal that has the power to reflect.
Oh no, the monster, the sand monster, the Rek'Sai. Well, I got him. Rek'Sai. Yeah, I forgot Rek'Sai.
The Shurimans use this celestial magic to turn their best soldiers into the Ascended, also known as the
Rek'Sai's from the Void. I give up. I feel like I see him like, I don't know. The only reason I thought it was Rek'Sai is because he's shown in the cinematic coming out of the sand and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Golden God Warriors. However,
why is Anubis in this game? That's Nasus, and then this is Renekton here. Nasus, Renekton.
However, these God Warriors wouldn't make a great enemy here. That's because after the Emperor had died, the Ascended started fighting for leadership. And slowly, after learning how to use blood magic to gain the edge, they morphed their own bodies and became the Darkin. Twisted, blood-frenzied monsters that would certainly make really cool
okay, yeah, Aatrox is from okay.
raid bosses. Besides this ancient evil, Shurima is also full of its own animals.
Aatrox has probably the most metal voice lines you've probably ever heard. Does anyone have like the Aatrox? There's like a...
I will render these mortal forms into my own. Kneel, mortals, so I may split your shoulders from your spine. The power of an aspect wasted on a fool.
Actually, it just goes on like that for 28 minutes. It's really metal.
Raiders, Dune Scavengers, and on top of all of that, Void Creatures. That's because to the south, there used to be a kingdom known as Icathia that wanted to destroy the Shuriman Empire.
Okay, that's why I thought Rek'Sai was right. In fairness, it's right there, and he just migrated north a little bit with the rest of the Rek'Saians. Okay.
So, they asked the Watchers for help.
Is this Hearthstone? No, this is the new League of Legends MMO they're working on.
You can imagine how that went. The Watchers sent through some void beasts that consumed Icathia and polluted Shurima to this day. To fight back the void, Shurima does have a lot of hidden tombs around with hidden God Warrior weapons. Not to mention that Shurima also has a circle of time mages who are trying to freeze the void in time. Now, as I mentioned near the beginning of the video, even if Shurima becomes an expansion, they can still easily make Shurimans a playable race because they are already connected to Noxus. As you can see, of course...
You finna play League? I don't know if you guys could handle it if I played League of Legends. I don't know if you guys could handle it. I get a little toxic. It's brutal. Whoever my duo queue partner is typically has to go to counseling for 4 to 6 months.
Of course, Noxians already conquered part of Shurima, so some Shurimans are fighting for Noxus. Also, as a...
No, League of Legends is literally... You're not even happy when you win a game of League. It's just a sigh of relief, man. You're just like, oh, thank God we didn't lose, dude. Oh my God. Like that's all it is. Like, sometimes you get to the end of the game, and like, you've been cussing out your duo partner like the whole time, and then there's this silence that kind of goes over the call, and then you hit next game, and you just wait. And you wait, and you wait. And then if your buddy joins the queue again, you know that it's okay and you're both still going to be friends, and you hit play again and you go again. Okay? It's the trenches, man. It's the trenches. How hyped are you for the new League MMO? So hyped. Also been also, have you played League? Yeah, for like 6 or 7 years. It was my main game. It'd be toxic, and that's why the game friends you can 5 hate and add there. Okay, well, the last sentence was a little messed up, but yeah, no, you definitely lose friends in League for sure. I lost friends in real life because of rank. Honey, baby, the ladder's not gonna climb itself. Okay, sex is gonna have to wait.
Cool fact for those of you who liked Arcane, hex crystals are harvested in Shurima. That's why a Shuriman expansion would be a great follow-up to...
What's your rank in League? I got to Diamond like 4 or 3 on Evelyn and jungling, basically just jungling. And then I stopped because I said that I was like, D1 is just going to be a place of death and despair. I don't want to do it.
Piltover and Zone. And again, that's why Riot can easily turn only the northern continent into the base world. Anyway, going west from Shurima, we arrive at Mount Targon. This place is incredibly unique. First of all, this mountain is not natural. It was literally pulled up from the ground by celestial gods. And
okay, that I did not know. This makes it much cooler.
That's because this place serves as a portal to the celestial realm, also known as Targon Prime. Now, because this mountain was pulled up, it also has some unique features. For example, you may find frozen lakes frozen horizontally on the mountain.
That's so sick, dude. These guys are so goated. This MMO is going to be juiced. Like, this is going to be so good. I mean, it's going to be theme park, so just brace yourself for that. But, like, theme park, it's over. You know it's going to be a theme park. You know it's going to... Just accept it. Like, they might sell it as like this mix of both, but like...
The peak of the mountain is special too. Should a mortal reach the peak despite the brutal climate and the deadly wildlife, either they die from exhaustion, or the celestial gods deem them worthy and they become an ascended aspect. There is
theme park just like BDO, get out of here. Again, like, I don't see it being a sandbox. I don't know. Maybe they'll probably have aspects of both. Honestly, recently, most MMOs have trended towards both. Like, there's aspects of theme park and there's aspects of sandbox. It's not so cut and dry as like World of Warcraft against BDO. You know what I mean?
There is aspect of war, aspect of the sun, aspect of the moon, aspect of the twilight, aspect of the guardian, and so on. Simply said, after people reach the peak, they become some of the strongest beings on the entire planet. So of course, the mountain is full of people who worship the celestial demigods. And I speculate this is where we could get a lot of cool armor sets. There are the Solari, who are devoted to the aspect of the sun. Then there are their rivals, the Lunari, who are devoted...
Okay, I just want to point out that when Diana came out in Season 2, it was the best lore that they had ever released. They've expanded on it, and it's not the best anymore, but like the login screen was like the best music. I used to sit there and just like listen to it in the background for like hours. It's so good. Diana's lore is juice.
To the aspect of the moon, but also the tribe I assume will become a playable class, the warriors.
Honestly, the lyrics of the song were the best.
Of Rakor. Of course, besides just humans, Targon also has all sorts of furry Vastaya. Near the bottom of the mountain, you may notice that the mountain is alive, but also there are Stellarcorns, a variety of mind-bending creatures, and loads of dragons.
That's not Aurelian Soul, is it? That's definitely not him. Yeah, that's definitely not him.
Speaking of which, remember that
that's his brother Aaron. I give up.
Linked to the celestial realm. So this is where we may also meet the star-forging celestial dragon Aurelian Soul, as well as all sorts of other celestial beings. A lot of these would make for interesting bosses. In fact, the ascension of Mount Targon would be a really cool raid.
Are you interested in creating or researching BDO lore? Is that a job offer? Do you work for Riot? I would do that. That would be sick.
Next, on the other side of Shurima, there is Ishtau. This is a special place where people are mastering the elemental magic. They are using it for everything. Fishing, smithing, walking... And this place is definitely gonna be saved for an expansion. Basically, remember when Ikassian...
He said BDO, man? Oh, did he? Ah, wishful thinking. I don't know if I could fix BDO's lore if you paid me. If I'm being honest. They went way too into the background and they didn't show us any of it in the game. Like, BDO has no lore. Actually, BDO has too much lore. And there's too much, like, there's so much going on. And the worst part is they forced us to read it all, and we're not the best readers. We were not all hooked on phonics when we were younger. You know what I mean?
Asked the Watchers for help, and then that happened. Ishtal was their neighbor, and after they saw the Void devour an entire kingdom, they believed the Void would soon devour the entire world. So, using their elemental magic, Ishtal built massive walls of plants around their entire region, isolating themselves from the rest of the world. For 3,500 years, Ishtal stayed isolated, believing
this is where Kiana's from.
that the world outside of their walls
That's why she's
was
a psycho.
devoured by the Void. But now, very recently, some mages found out that the world outside is completely fine. So now, the Ishtali mages are slowly revealing themselves. To be honest, Ishtal is the most underdeveloped.
This was definitely not taken from Black Panther. Ishtal forever. Okay.
Region in
Had to be said.
Runeterra. We know the region has a lot of hunting Vastaya, deadly plants, and some elemental dragons, but most of the region is still a mystery to us. So at least here, right?
Secret natural resources. Isolated from everyone. Superhero mages.
That will have the freedom to try something new. But now, we'll leave the main continent to visit the last two regions.
Okay, Miss Fortune. We love respectfully looking at Miss Fortune.
First of all, there is Bilgewater.
That's right.
If you like pirate adventures, this is gonna be your place. This is where we are going to explore in...
Thanks, Taylor Moon. Appreciate that. Hey, girl. Welcome to the stream.
And gambling dens,
Pike
even some local temples worshipping the god of motion,
Gamba?
Nagake Boros.
Who?
Here we are going to fight pirates and sea monsters, sea
Respectfully.
witches, sea Vastaya, maybe some demons. And possibly we'll side with Sarah Fortune to fight...
I want to go sail around on the high seas like pirates. I want Sea of Thieves level combat. You understand? That's what I want. Don't take this from me.
The king of the pirates, Gangplank. But there's a lot more here. Last year, Riot released their RPG, which was set in Bilgewater. So not only can we already explore this place in detail, but it even has a monster journal. And at a quick glance, you can already see some really cool bosses too. However, this place is also linked to the last place I want to show you today. The Shadow Isles.
I was gonna say, that's where my girl Eve... That's right. Evelyn is the best champion in League of Legends. I do not care. She's the best. I have been an Evelyn fan for years. Huge fan. Respectfully.
See, every year the horrors of the Shadow Isles lurk out.
Hey Barry, yes.
Bilgewater just happens to be the closest place. So every year, Bilgewater is fighting the undead. Once upon a time, the Shadow Isles used to be the Blessed Isles, a rich place full of advanced magic. Long story short, there was a young asshole king who wanted to revive his dead queen.
Yeah, that's Lord of the Ruined King. Yeah, that's right. Sword of the Ruined King? Yeah.
And in the process, he accidentally released dark necromantic magic. This magic destroyed the island and made it home for undeath.
Tragic.
In the lore, this event is called...
Yeah, this is where we get Viego from. Yeah, that's
the Ruination. And because the RPG is called The Ruined King, it may not be a surprise to you that you also get to explore the Shadow Isles there. And there they have anything you can imagine. Undead
Evelyn.
horrors creeping everywhere.
Show me the Evelyn.
And should we ever venture into these islands?
Who am I kidding? She's right there. God. I love Evelyn fan art.
I have no idea whom we're going to fight. The ruined king who caused all of this is banished elsewhere. Thresh, who siphoned his magic after he was banished, also left the Isles. And even Hecarim, the most brutal
My god, there she is again!
soldier of them all, is currently around Demacia. So the Shadow Isles don't currently have a main baddie. So this is where Riot could push forward some of the side characters. Now, even though these have all been the regions that are currently set up on Runeterra, Riot has already confirmed that there is a new continent further to the east. Currently, it is planned to be revealed in the upcoming Ruination novel. And so far, we know that this new continent is
They're
where
writing
the
novels?
King Viego is from. And this is also where he was banished at the end of his story. All we know about that place is that it is quite mystical. There are yet more dragons here, and in fact, Kamavor, which is the Ruined King's nation, has a lot of draconic armor. So should Riot run out of
Dragons. That's what we want. Dragons. Rideable dragons.
places to explore, don't worry, they can always make up more. But that's all I wanted to show you today. As someone who's been following the lore of League of Legends from the very beginning, I can tell you,
Noted.
I'm very confident the setting of Riot's MMO is gonna be great. Their incredible writers have been preparing the world for years now. And now, it's time to harvest the fruit. If you like this video, let
Noted.
me know in the comments below. Because right now, I still have 3 more topics that I could talk about in regards to the MMO. I especially want to talk about the potential raid
Is it just me or are these guys just impossibly short? Is Kaisa like 4'6"? What's going on with that?
bosses we can face, and the potential classes we could play. And as someone who has collected an unholy amount of transmog, I would love to show you all the cool armor sets this universe has. But that's it for this video. See you in 6 to 8 years when the
Dude. It is not going to be 6 to 8 years, bro. It's going to be out before that. For sure. 100%. No question. Please. Honestly, it's got so much hype around it, man. Like,